I almost shouted at her, grabbing her arm and lifting her to her feet. June reluctantly obeyed and grabbed her bag. We walked a few steps along the soft sand when June stopped to look behind her. "A plus, mon petit," that big Frenchman shouted to her, and she blushed deeply. "No way," I muttered angrily under my breath. "What the hell was that, June?" I asked her accusingly as we walked back along the beach. "Have you seen the size of it, John?" she replied, not seeming to realize how much this upset me. "I've never seen one this big, and it was my bare breasts that caused it." "Overexcited damn Frenchman," I barked at her. "You made a fool of yourself, June, and embarrassed the hell out of me. Aren't you jealous, John?" June looked at me with a worried expression, finally realizing how much she had upset me. "Yes, June, I'm jealous," I quickly responded. "Jealous, embarrassed, angry, and humiliated." "But you were the one who wanted me to show my bare breasts to other guys, John," she protested. "You're the one who asked me to do this. I liked the idea that you were sunbathing topless, not sticking your chest out in front of some damn foreigner." "They're not foreigners, John," June corrected me. "They are French, and we are in France." "Who cares?" I groaned as we continued our walk along the beach. "You showed them, June, deliberately exposing yourself to them." "Why not?" she retorted sharply. "These are my breasts, and I will show them to whoever I want." And so our argument continued for another 10 minutes. We weren't arguing, but throwing barbs at each other. Neither of us was talking meaningfully, but each of us was trying to score points as we walked back to the hotel. About then, I noticed that several people were looking at us, almost staring. We were both so engrossed in our argument that we did not notice that we had walked along a shopping street, the beach already 100 yards behind us. Then I understood why. "June, for God's sake," I shouted at her. "What are you doing?" "What's wrong now?" she answered angrily, assuming that I was egging her on to something new. Then she realized why everyone was looking at us, at her, in fact. "Oh my God, where is my sweater?" she screamed when it dawned on her that she was walking along a rather busy street still naked from the waist up. We were both so engrossed in our discussions that we didn't notice it. "Where the hell is my jacket?" she repeated frantically, digging through her bag, which I let her rummage through for a few moments before I gave in and took it out of my bag. "Why didn't you tell me, John?" she almost screamed, trying to pull the t-shirt over her head. "Nice breasts, beauty," shouted a young guy passing by in the company of a couple of friends. June, now covered up, looked at me as if she was about to explode. But although the situation was quite tense, I could only smile stupidly in response. "You liked it, didn't you, scoundrel?" she accused me. "Yeah, I liked it," I admitted, after which June couldn't stay angry any longer, and we both laughed. Hand in hand, we walked back to our hotel, occasionally bursting into laughter every time we tried to talk about what had happened. It definitely helped us overcome our little conflict, and by the time we got back to our room, we fell into each other's arms and ended up on the bed where June immediately took off her cardigan again. "Nice breasts, beauty," I told her, trying to imitate her previous admirer's comment, and again we both laughed. Not that that stopped June from starting to unbutton or remove my shorts. No, all was well again between Mr. and Mrs. Bennett Parker, and this time we were almost late for dinner. The next day, we booked a tour and went on it. We spent a wonderful day exploring the vineyards of the Medoc region and tasting their products. We also ended the day shopping in the center of Bordeaux, one of the most impressive cities in France, full of history, atmosphere, wonderful boutiques, and, of course, full of wine. By this time, we had already had a bit to drink, and without needing to drive back, we took full advantage of it. "How about this sweater?" June asked me, holding in her hands a beautiful black transparent lace thing that she pulled from a rack in the last store we went into. "It's beautiful," I agreed, nodding my head, noticing that the price tag wasn't exorbitant. "This will look good on you on the beach." This is not beachwear, fool, June laughed, the amount of wine already visible. This is evening wear. Evening clothes? I asked again. There's some fabric there, isn't there? It shouldn't be, she informed me with a smile. But everyone will see your bra through it, June. They won't see it if I don't wear it, she pointed out mischievously. Oh yes, we bought it. That evening back at our hotel, I began to notice a side of my new wife that I had never seen before. My sweet, rather seductive wife was coming out of her shell. She had already shown this on the beach the day before, but I accepted that I might have overestimated the situation, not being used to this new, very sexy Mrs. Parker. Life could get exciting, perhaps. Not quite sure how I felt about it, but we were on vacation, so why not? What do I look like? What a question. June stood in front of me in sexy black high-heel sandals, followed by long tanned legs until her little denim skirt began, which covered, but barely her firm buttocks. Then the jacket, yes, the same one that we bought earlier. Are you really going out in this? I asked, noting the obvious fact that she wasn't wearing a bra underneath. I'm not sure, John, she replied nervously, looking at her reflection in the mirror. How much can you really see? You mean besides your breasts? I clarified. It actually wasn't that bad, and at a casual glance, most people would never guess how much she was actually showing off. But still, June was beautiful enough to justify more than a casual glance. Damn, she looked so sexy. Should I change my clothes, John? June asked uncertainly now that it was time to go out. I think the effect of 6 glasses of excellent Bordeaux had already begun to wear off. I really like the way you look in this, I admitted. The thought of her walking around the city with so little coverage gave me a shiver of nervous anticipation. It felt like I was sharing the risk and excitement at this moment. I'm not sure, John, June hesitated. If someone looks closely, they can see everything I have. It didn't bother you at the beach yesterday, was my obvious retort. It was the beach, John, she pointed out, making a face. Now we're talking about walking around the city. Well, it's pretty dark outside, I protested. But it will be light in the restaurant, won't it? June continued. The thought of going out like this excites me, John, but I don't know if I have the courage. Perhaps you could take the stole over your shoulders, I suggested, strangely eager despite my previous misgivings for my wife to appear in public in such a revealing outfit. You can put it over your chest if someone gets too close. Good idea, she agreed, and with a mischievous smile, she did just that. It was a great night. No, really, that was it. And the stole didn't last long. She kept it wrapped around her for about 10 minutes after we left the hotel, and then it slowly slid lower and lower. You're showing your breasts, June, I warned her, feeling oddly uneasy and unsure now that we were actually doing it. I know, darling, was her only answer. It becomes obvious every time you walk under a street light, I pointed out. I know, John. You get a lot of looks, darling, I muttered, my heart pounding. I was more worried than she was, but for some strange reason, I actually enjoyed it. I know, dear. Do you mind? If it's all the same to you, June, I said, my eyes everywhere as every man we passed turned their attention to my wife, then I'll get rid of this thing.